Good morning. We're on a field trip today. We're in the kitchen and my wife's at work. So trouble may ensue. What we're going to do is we're going to boil this carburetor. This is the one off the complete Flat 6. It looks like a dog's ass. And I'm going to try boiling in some distilled water and some lemon juice and see what happens to it. Because I don't want to deal with it. And then I got a rebuild kit for it. So I'm not really concerned if the rubber goes on it. That doesn't really bother me, which is the big concern if you do a lemon juice. Which is the big concern if you do a lemon juice soak on this thing. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna lay it on the side here. We can't do this with my wife home, but I do all the cooking. So. Ooh. Cooking with Stumpy. This is distilled water. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I thought I'd do that. Oh good, I found 2 expired lemon juices. So we got two expired lemon juices. Let's do this. There's lots of different thoughts on whether this is a good idea or not, but I think with something like this, because it eats up the rubber, that it's not going to matter. More concern is you're like a motocross guy and you want to boil a carb. You're not going to rebuild it. I think that's the bigger issue. That you could eat up oil parts, or rubber parts. Sorry. Alright, we'll put more water in there. You get full coverage. Alright, well, check back when it's done here. So this is the result. I boiled it, and then after I kind of took a toothbrush to it, what I always try to avoid doing, I end up doing anyway. Took an old toothbrush to it with some dish soap in the sink, and now it looks pretty good. Definitely the point where I can start rebuilding it. But this is what happened. This is the ball type carburetor. So that's the next step here. The idea of rebuilding this carburetor is basically, I'm going to do the one for the New Yorker too, but I want to start kind of lower stakes. I've never done it before. I don't think it's going to be too bad, but it's one of those things I've just never done before. So we'll do that next.
you get to the next intersection, why don't you turn south?
Chocolate Mountains are east. Well, they were the last time we headed that way.
Who needs the mountains? Why don't we go to San Felipe?
Nothing to do in San Felipe but fish.
Well, that was the idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, we might just pick up a drink in Mexicali. Remember Floribel at the Alhambra Club?
Yeah. She's probably dead by now. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Poor old Floribel. Well, there's no harm in drinking a toast to her.
Okay. You know, except for the war, this is the first time I've been away from Morty and the kids.
You want to turn back?
No. We've come this far. Mexicali's beginning to sound good.
Yes, maybe. Remember that chime? It's right down the bottom.
Bienvenidos, caballeros. Bienvenidos a México. Muchachos, ¿quieren divertirse?
This is the place, senor. Come right in. Juanita's just starting her famous fan dance. You are just in time.
Well, might as well take a look. Hey, Gil. Gil? Sorry, friend, no sale. Oh, well. San Felipe, here we come.
Yeah.
Hop in.
We're going to San Felipe. You can pick up some gas there, hit you right back. Waiting out there long?
Yeah.
You'll let me see, right?
Smoke? No.
What are you doing, rolling?
Hey, how's it going? So I'm back in the studio today, just kind of taking a break from everything. I feel bad because I was rebuilding this carburetor the other night, and I was showing you how I was doing, and I ran out of batteries, ran out of memory card, and I just kept going. I can't help myself once I get in the groove. So the world is held back from seeing how I would rebuild a single barrel carburetor, which I don't think is a big loss because there's lots of people probably do it better than I do. But I think I got it right. I'll just show you it now. Here she is back on her perch. It looks pretty good. Like, if I really want to get nuts, I could soda blast it and paint it the right color. But like, I like the fact it's got some wear on it, but it shows that somebody gave enough of a crap to rebuild it. And you can see the cylinder pump works the way it's supposed to. And there's still more parts to go on there that I got to clean up and put back. But for right now, it's on there. And I got to replace the filter to it. Not that that's pressing at the moment, but yeah. So doing one more with that today, and then we'll get into some other things I want to do. Stick around. Well, I couldn't leave it well enough alone. I straightened out the frame. I had it all backwards. I assumed the adjustment point on the torsion bar was at the front here. And it's at the back. I was reading that all wrong. Shows you what I know. I have never adjusted that before. I've had several cars with torsion bars on it. Goes to show that I'm not in the habit of lowering and raising my cars. But yeah, kind of reminded me of that scene from the movie MASH where they're all pointing in the wrong direction. And sure enough, it was at the back here. It needed a do a 1 1/8 size socket, and I didn't have that, so I borrowed it from my friend Sean. I had bigger and I had smaller. I did a 1 1/8. So thank you, Sean, for loaning me that. But we're about as close. I took this side up a bit and then this side down a bit because I didn't want to just do all the adjustment on one side. It's still favoring the driver's side a little bit, but like not enough. Like if I just put my hand on it, it moves over. So, and I know there's going to be a battery on this side, so I didn't want to get too nuts, but I just wanted that. I got real tired of looking at it, kind of leaning. My wife too, why is your car leaning? So it's not leaning anymore. So I'm pretty happy with that. Like it probably all changed, the geometry all changed. But I got a kick out of it because I started adjusting it. And I went to open this door and I couldn't open it. I thought I was twisting the body. And then I remembered that, eventually I remembered that I had put a tie strap on here to keep the door closed. Not until after I had undone all my adjustments on the door. So the door is not as adjusted as it once was. The gap's a little closer up here. And so the top hinge has got to come in a bit. But like, it's just, like these doors, for the car being as a part of it was, like I'm just tickled how they fit. Yeah, it's gappy at the bottom, so the top hinge has got to come in a bit, which is, I suspected as much. But like, come on, like I'm not going to adjust until I got the fenders on it. And this one's fitting a lot better. Like this is the door that's giving me all the headaches. And it's still not great at the bottom, but these were never great at the bottom. But it's better than it was. And I'm so happy because, you know, like having this been spliced in there and then all the metal work that was done by a moron who was me. Like I'm just so happy the way that fits. Like it's not perfect. It's actually better than the other side right now. And it's got to come up just a hair. So to be in that kind of ballpark for how much this car was apart when we had the floating A-arm or A-pillar and everything else, like it just tickles me to no end. So I'm very happy to have the car sitting flat. Like I understand it didn't even happen now, but for me to be happy, like every time I walk in this garage, all I would notice is how out of whack that car was. But look at it now, like as Bob Seger would say, way up firm and high. Jeez, I love the way this looks. Like you just think these things sit down on their haunches, and those big fender flares don't help them out at all. They're just, I hate those tires. But just to see it sitting way up high, it just makes me so happy. There is nothing that improves a car quicker than its stance. Like I just so happy that this car, it looks like a jackrabbit. Let's just take a minute. Me and you, we'll just stand here. Shh, quiet. Of course, somebody's walking by. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's worth the price of admission right there. I kind of picked away. This has been kind of a quiet afternoon, and I didn't have the camera on. You know, I don't know how much value you get out of that, but I put the carburetor back together. So I cleaned up this. This is I think the choke, thermal choke. It'll pull back and just clean it up a bit. Cleaned up a lot of. I got this bracket. There's a bracket that goes right here that has the linkage for the throttle right here. So I've cleaned that up, sandblasted. Now I'm painting it. And then this is the coolant for the thermostat right here. I haven't tightened these up yet. I might torque them down and just look for this guy later because I haven't got out to see if I can find that yet. And I gotta switch this out. It looks so bad. And then I just, this guy's done, of course, you've seen that. And for the timing cover, I just painted up the bolts today. They'll get marred up when I put them on, but then I can just brush them again after. At least I got a good base on them. So those go here. And then we can put the pan on because the pan bolts to the bottom of the timing cover. So we're getting this guy buttoned up. I don't know if anybody cares, but I care. And this is the first carburetor I've ever rebuilt. So it's kind of my training carburetor because I'm going to rebuild the one that's up there or probably the one here, maybe. But I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it so far. We haven't tested it. It looks good. But it seems to be doing what it's supposed to do as a carburetor. Like these things are not terribly complicated. So I'm not going to really go out and sell myself. Maybe this isn't working the way it's supposed to. It needs some adjustment, of course. But I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's got some pumping action there. So I might not have it set up perfectly yet, but it is looking excellent. It looks the part. Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to put a cap on this episode. I don't know if you noticed, last couple episodes there, I've been kind of sick. I don't have COVID. Don't have COVID. Don't have COVID. Got tested. Don't have it. But I was under the weather. Seems like I put myself under a bit of stress, work related and everything else, and then I have a come down after, and just like a university student, I get sick immediately. So that's happened to me last days of October. Or sorry, yeah, last days of October and just last week too. I've had 2 serious bouts with something, not COVID. But yeah, so I've been sidelined a bit, and what happens when I get sick, it just kind of sucks away my ambition. And being 25 episodes in on a year, where I said I was going to do 52, you know, the last thing I need to do is lose my ambition. But I don't know, I just kind of wanted to put a cap on this episode. I did a little more work on the Slant 6. It's funny, I put an order into Rock Auto last week. And I swear to God, even before it was out of my PayPal account, it was here. So I'm not sure what's going on with Rock Auto, but like it was here in 2 days. And I ended up, I'll just show you here. I ended up getting a fuel filter, not that I need it right away, but it looks better on there. Like it just, I couldn't stand looking at that old broken one, especially for shiny new parts. I'll just flop this off for you. And this is gonna get painted up. I got a new decal for this too. So weird when I'm deciding to paint and not paint. I understand it's probably annoying some people, or annoying some people in the future if you're not watching this yet. But this is, I call this motor, this is kind of my purgatory. This motor was painted by me at 19 years old, and then I rode off the car immediately after I got on the road. So my purgatory is this engine's never gonna look perfect, because I always want me to know what it was. It was the engine. My dad paid for rebuilding for me, and guy didn't pay for much for me. He showed his love in a lot of other ways, and I don't hold any grudges, but he just wasn't a big pay for things kind of guy. But he did pay for rebuilding his motor, which just absolutely blows my mind. So I just kind of always want to remind her where this motor comes from. I didn't want to erase the history for it, and like it's sun baked. This thing was baked in the sun because that hood was crinkled open, and this thing was exposed to the sun probably for like 7 years, and that's what they look like when they get baked in the sun. And I like it. I really do like it. I think it looks really industrial, like it came out of a swather, and they did put these Slant 6s in a swather, and I like this bracket's a different color, and then these are not the right red, but they look good. So I put this cover on, I showed you that. So those are all the bolts that's in there. It's got a new gasket behind it. I'm just putting the gaskets on dry because the surfaces are so clean. We're gonna have it on the bench long enough. If we find leaks anywhere, we can deal with it. There's so much science around what people want to do with gaskets and what their thing is. I just don't want to goop a bunch of silicone on like I did last time. As this 19-year-old moron put this thing together, I've grind off more silicone. Oh, I painted up here, and I got a new thermostat in there. And these hoses came for my Rock Auto. I didn't need them right away, but I saw them, and so I think these are red hoses. There's just 63 hoses, or 64 hoses, so for 330. And if I have a radiator, that's a radiator I'm gonna end up having. I did the rest, so this is all painted up now, the bracketry here. So this is where your linkage go on this ball here. So if I pull this back, you can see everything moves now. I think this one might have to move down here, right there. You seen that? Because I do lose it a bit at the end there. But all that in due time, like everything works the way it's supposed to. Everything looks the way it's supposed to. All the linkage looks the way it is. And as this thing's rebuilt, as you saw most of that. New fuel filter. All I gotta do is really put on the pan. I'm gonna put on the pan. Obviously when I get this thing on a test bench, I can go through it some more, but we got enough of it if I get the pan on that we can start. Oh, we gotta put on the balancer, and we're gonna do the pulley I might throw an alternator on it too, if I have one. Just for fun, see if it generates anything. And there's going to be some speculation of how there's probably a really long hose. I gotta see how that's routed. Goes from here, and I suspect to there. I probably got some pictures of how that was running before, but I like how this line runs around the front here. This is how it was. So this is the rocket here. This is why I wanted to use that engine, because it was the one the most together. So and no one screwed with it. So all the stuff that was on originally was on it. So now I've kind of transferred it all over to here, so it kind of looks period correct, other than the real iffy paint job. But I like all the new parts are going on looking shiny and new, and then all the old parts look nothing, you know, like they look what they did. Like they earned that paint job from the sun. Baked in the sun. You can't pay for that. That's patina, man. That's not made up. That's patina. So hate me if you want, but that's the way I want this engine to look. And I think it looks like a heart. Like it looks like a body part almost. The way it is, the flat black and the red, and I just think it looks mean for a slat 6. I gotta find another bolt here too, because I had the one broke, but I don't know. So there's little things still missing this brass. I haven't gone to the car yard yet because I don't even know if it's open anymore with the new restrictions. Thank you, government. And this bracket here, I've never seen this on a slat 6, but it's obviously original, this one. We're gonna pull that off and put that on there too. You care? I care. So there's that. So I'm excited about that. But this is where I got to with it this week. I just kind of took a morning and I kind of just, you know, like in COVID and this, I'm working, but you know, it's a reduced schedule and everything else. So you got this time where you just, you know, you just come out and stand in the garage for a few minutes and you start putting stuff together. I like working on slat 6s too, because they work as a bench. Like if I had all my tools up here, so that's kind of handy. I can see the appeal of that. You know where all your tools are. But I'm pretty happy with this. I know this is kind of asymmetrical to the original project here, the New Yorker, but the next big move on the New Yorker is we're gonna get the brakes going. And like I said, I gotta order some parts speculatively. I think everything's 1/16. And I'm not impressed that I can't find the right fittings. And I don't want to change it all out. So sad that I broke that one fitting. I had a guy tell me, he goes, oh, they weren't originally brass lines. Pretty sure this is an original line. And he wanted to argue with me for it. A lot of these parts guys, you know, like, they just, they're hilarious. Because I pulled this line off a 64 New Yorker. And you're telling me it's not original. So I just let them win. I just have no time for that anymore. Everybody's an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in anything, but I do know where I pull parts from. I am aware of that. So I want to get back into the car. There's some stuff I want to do here. I want to bring home in the first part of the new year, first quarter. I want to start bringing home the inner fenders. So I got to start thinking of what terms of what, because we want to be able to mount a radiator. Because I'm trying to think, what do we need to get this thing started? I don't want to throw out the word running, but what do we need to get started? And we probably need a radiator. It's probably easy if the radiator is supported by something, a battery. The dash is actually next to my bed. My wife is super impressed. The dash is next to my bed, so every morning I wake up, I look at the dash, and it needs a splash of paint. Like I just need to sand the whole bottom part of it, and where we fixed the holes. I'm speculating those holes were for an 8-track player. That's where I saw a Chrysler 8-track player that looked like it would have fit where those holes were. That's my thought on it. But so that needs to happen. So I'm just kind of thinking in terms. I kind of want to just do I don't know, just a quick year in review. I'd like to thank everybody who's watching this for watching. I know it's not the same as everything else, and in the last little bit, I have gone on my way to make it a little different. Just want to make it so, you know, you want to watch it. I don't know how much you're going to learn. There's 400 videos on YouTube where you can learn how to rebuild a single barrel carb, a ball type, and I'm not adding anything to that conversation by doing this one. So, hence I just try to make it a little more palatable. So, but the idea of this is to get me out here working on the car, and it has. I am so happy where the New Yorker is right now. The fact that it's sitting on rubber for the first time in 7 years, like it's had a banner year. Like for everything that's gone bad this year, and everything I hope to buy that it just can't happen this year. I'm very happy with the minimum amount of cash that I've put into this project of where I've gone to, and I've borrowed a lot of tools. And thank you, Sean. Sean's the guy I borrow all my tools from. If he doesn't have it, I don't have it. But I'm just very happy that, you know, we're getting a little bit of traction. I like having a small cult following. There's something that I don't consider a failure. I don't know if I ever want to do the things that are going to make me appeal to a wide audience. I'm never going to rebuild a Lambo or turn it into a four-wheel drive vehicle. I'm just going to do this. And the videos are really for me, and if you like them, I thank you for watching. But the videos are just for me to know if I have to put up a video, I have to be out here doing something. And I hope for 52 on that video of me driving the truck on New Year's Day I can't believe what I didn't know on New Year's Day. Like, you think about that guy, you go back and watch that video, the first one I put out. That guy's a moron. Like, all the shit that was coming his way this year, he had no idea. He didn't know he was building a deck. He didn't know COVID was coming. He didn't know all these things. That guy got beat up. So I feel sorry for that guy. But, you know, we're all in the same boat. Like, I've been talking to people lately and going out for beers, well, when you're still allowed to go for beers. And just, trading, swapping stories, and everybody's got a tale of woe of COVID, and mine are no better than anybody else's, and I just hope for the best for everybody. If you're having a hard time, let somebody know. This keeps me sane, like having to do this kind of stuff, my family, my wife and my kids, but when they go to bed, or I have a Saturday afternoon where I can steal away, this is where I want to be, and this stuff keeps me sane. Like, these are interesting problems to solve. And really, the Slant 6 never needed to be rebuilt. Like, it was rebuilt, but never needed to be back in my life. And I'm kind of happy it is. I feel like it's a little bit of closure on something I felt like I left open. My dad and I did look around for a bit for another. First, we looked for a clip for that car. We could never find one. And then we looked around for another car to put this motor and tranny in, and we couldn't find one either. Like, it's funny, like, you think back to around 2000, 98, 99, what cars were available to you that were just, now they're like hen's teeth. Like, there was you could pick up a Dart Swinger 76 or something like that for $700, you know, in cars that were post embargo 72 and up. They were just everywhere, and now they're gone. And earlier cars too, they were still around. Some of them were still on the road. And it's funny, like, I always think the time kind of stopped at 2000, but it's 20 years later, and this stuff's not around anymore. And, you know, I hope younger generations get into it. Like, I'm not against electric cars or anything else, but I always think there's a place on the road for interesting gas-powered cars. And the fact that, you know, we can put them back on the road, I want to do that. So that's my opinion. Don't at me for anything. I'm just kind of happy overall. You know, like, I was so nervous putting this channel out, and I understand maybe it makes me look like a psychopath, or at least a sociopath. But for me, it's just a record of this time in my life, and being able to do this and showing my kids what went into it long term. Like, long term, what went into this, and what the thing is. Don't ever worry about selling these cars. If I'm dead and gone, kids, sell them. Sell them all. Don't let them pin you. Don't do what I did, where you get stuck working on your dad's cars. I'm hoping not to leave you guys any projects, but move them along. Invite Wayne Creaney. He'll still be alive. Wayne Creaney can come over and pick through the cars. You can have him, Wayne. Wayne. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I don't think there's going to be another video between now and Christmas. Maybe there will, but it's just getting busy right now with Christmas, and it's just such a different year that I'm trying my best to be around for the kids and everything else. So I haven't been in the garage much lately. Like, shot a bunch of video, and this is what you're seeing this week. And then I was sick for a week, and I just absolutely sidelined. And it was everything I could do just get my Christmas tree up and a few other things. I'm just getting the end of it now. But it's, you know, it is what it is. And I hope you're doing well. I hope you got your family around you, and I hope you're making the best of the season. And you know, if you're full of anger and everything else, just focus it on doing something constructive. You know, like be constructive. That's the best thing I can say. I never regret a day where I do something constructive, and I've been doing a lot of projects out here and electronic space. We're going to get back into the radio project. I got some ideas around that. There's some speculation. I might have a couple of tools after Christmas that I need to do there. I'm starting to look at the radio as more of a remote than housing everything into it. So we might have to build a housing. If you remember the radio project where it's going to have Bluetooth and terrestrial FM, and possibly, I'm still open to the idea of satellite radio, but we'll see. But I see the radio head unit being more of a remote control, and then having everything go to a box mounted on the firewall maybe that you wouldn't see. But I want it to look stock. That's what's most important to me. I don't want a Clarion carved into my dash. So, you do you, I'll do me. But I just want to say thanks for watching. Hope to, you know, do better in the new year. Hopefully get some more money in this project. I hope everybody does. Hope there is a big surge after the end of this COVID thing here. And we all have 3 years of just fun. So Dad takes the whatever away. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Spend lots of time with the ones you love as much as you can. And remember, Stumpy loves you.